Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about 051 Kiddo. Now, 051 Kiddo was recently arrested after being in jail for almost a decade, man. Now, 051 Kiddo is one of the most controversial rappers coming out of the Chicago drill scene. Dude was really putting it on when he got out of prison, and this summer he really set things ablaze by dissing a lot of the top rappers in the game and by going after them by name and dissing their sets and just taking it back to the old school Chicago drill rap of the early 2010s, 2011, 2012 timeframe, right? And it was a blowback to the past, but a lot of people were weary and thought that 051 Kiddo would eventually crash out. And it looks like he did. But even though 051 Kiddo was seeing some success in the rap game, it seemed like everybody was just waiting for something bad to happen. And that thing happened by him getting arrested recently. So last week, 051 Kiddo got arrested. And this is what happened. They were doing sweeps in a city called Kankakee, right? Now, in Kankakee County, they had this team put together with a lot of different police agencies within the county. Now, what they did was they did sweeps on people who are on parole, specifically people with parole, just to see that they were living up to the code and conditions of their parole. So early in the morning and late at night, they went to several different locations. Now, 3 of these locations, they found people who were supposed to be on parole who were actually not living up to code according to the charges that they caught. 051 Kiddo was one of those people. Now, the charges that he caught was being a felon with a weapon, and also being a felon who's associated with known gang members with a weapon and a lot of other charges related to a weapon, allegedly, right? So 051 Kiddo looks cooked. It looks like it's over for 051 Kiddo after he had just had an amazing summer, getting hundreds of thousands, millions of views on songs. He's bringing his team 051, dropping mixtapes, joint mixtapes, a lot of energy behind this rapper, even though a majority of it is negative. He even had a back and forth with Tay Savage, had a back and forth with Hardbody Lodox. They both went back and forth on social media to discuss what went down when they were in prison. Now, 051 Kiddo and Hardbody Lodox were all locked up together for a long period of time, right? And they had different stories. Lodox basically said that 051 Kiddo was the errand boy in the prison, that 051 Kiddo wasn't acting gangster when they was locked up. He didn't start acting gangster again until he got back onto the streets and started getting the backup of his crew and started dropping songs. Then he became gangster again. But inside the jail, he was scared. He was so frightened that he was running fades for Hardbody Lodox, meaning Hardbody Lodox is allegedly one of his ops on the street, right? And instead of taking the fight, the fair one, going toe-to-toe with Hardbody Lodox and, win, lose, or draw, just fighting his way through his sentence, he decided to team up with him and then actually fight for Hardbody Lodox, what a lot of people thought was an L, man. And it sounds almost unbelievable because you really don't hear that from people who are professed to be down with certain organizations, so we can call them gangs, right? Even though 051 Kiddo professes that he's not down with a gang, Hardbody Lodox put it out there that, yes, he's one of my ops, and this is how I was treating him in there. Even got on the phone to have another guy talk about the fact that he was in there treating 051 Kiddo. Well, Kiddo and him went back and forth, and nobody knew who to believe. It was a pretty outlandish claim, so people let it be what it be, and Kiddo went on to dissing and making his music, and Hardbody Lodox went on his way to making his music and, continuing to work with Tay Savage and focus on what he's got going on, right? Well, what's even crazier is during the time period where 051 Kiddo recently got arrested, it seems like, man, these situations where he might not be able to fight like he professes that he can or is as gangster as he says he is, have reared their ugly head again. Because check this out. This guy has just recently been moved from the facility that he was originally arrested at, where he had originally caught the charge, the parole that broke his parole, right? That said he violated his parole, right? He was moving to another facility in the Illinois Department of Corrections called Statesville. Now at Statesville, they gave him a brand new mugshot. This is the kicker though. From the time that 051 Kiddo has been arrested, it was a rumor that somebody from 600 put the beats on 051 Kiddo. I'm talking about whooped him. You know what I'm saying? Knocked him out with the ones and twos, man. Really got on him, man. And 051 Kiddo took to social media to make this post right here where he said, nah, I'm all right, man. Everything's all good. Now, in that post, he didn't deny the fact that he got beat up. He just put it out there and said that, yo, I'm good. Everything's all right. Well, what's crazy is since he's moved over to Statesville, they had to shoot him a new mugshot. In this new mugshot, you could visibly see that 051 Kiddo then got into it with somebody. But I know these prison mugshots are not glamour shots. You're not going to be looking your best. This is not your prom picture. You're not going to be in a tuxedo. But dude really looked like he's going through it, man. Like, it looks bad for 051 Kiddo. And like Hardbody Lodak said, man, if you see Kiddo and you really look at him, man, you could, there's certain things that give away like, yo, behind bars, you know, he might have a tough time. You know what I mean? And that's not to diss on the man, and that's definitely not to disrespect him. I'm really concerned for him because, you know, I actually like 051 Kiddo. He seemed like a cool dude, man. And in the time period that he was out here, he didn't seem too worried, man. He was brushing off all the rumors of somebody putting a $100,000 bag on his head and knocking him down. He was brushing aside all the rumors of anybody stepping to him and his crew and trying to mess with him. But he did profess the fact that, yo, he was out here willing to protect himself. And it looks like him being willing to protect himself has led to him being back incarcerated out there in Illinois, man. So what's crazy about all this is, I don't know if we could give Hardbody Lodak some credit for professing what was going to happen in the future, but it looks like he might have been right. But man, let's actually look at the booking information for 051 Kiddo, man. Let's check this out. So as you see the mug shot there, you see the side shot, and then you see the main picture right there. And then you have height, weight, birthday, you know, your typical stuff. His tattoos, what he's got tattooed on him. Get Busy Gang, 4800, we get busy gang. Then he's got another tattoo, King with gun and Kiddo with gun, you know what I mean? Or on his other shoulder. Then this is his admission, release, discharge info. So his admission date was on the 13th of February. His projected parole date now is on the 3rd of April, 2026. So he's looking at about a good 2 years, you know what I'm saying? Last parole date was April 5th, 2023. So 051 Kiddo hasn't even been out. Well, he hasn't even been out a year. You know what I mean? All that went on, all the dissing, all the stuff that went down where he's going back and forth. He's doing interviews. He's talking about what's going on. All that happened in about an 8 to 10 month span, to be real with you. So he hasn't even been on the streets that long, and he's already back in prison, and it's looking like he'll probably have to, you know, be in prison for the next 2 years because they're saying that he violated. Now, his projected discharge date is is only 2 days after that date of April 5th, 2026. And the sentencing information is this. Now, if you look, this is his original sentence. This is the charge that he paroled from. So in 2012, remember, he got it locked up and arrested. In 2012 is his custody date for armed robbery, armed with firearm. Then the next charge is armed robbery, armed with firearm, an additional charge. And he was originally sentenced to 21 years, 0 months, 0 days, right? And he was in Cook County. And then you look at the final charge. So it looks like he caught 3 different charges for the same crime, or 3 different counts for the same crime, all added up to 21 years. And now it looks like he's going to have to spend at least the next 2 years in prison, man. I got to say that all the information presented on this page from the Illinois Department of Corrections isn't to be taken for fact. You know, maybe some of this is doctored up, maybe some of this is incorrect, but it's what we got in front of us right now, man. This is crazy, man. Now, when you look at his mugshot and you hear about the stories about him getting beat up or getting into scuffles, I don't know. Do y'all think this will be the end of it, or do you think people will still be on 051 Kiddo's head in this situation? Because it ain't looking good for him from the start. It's only been a week, and it's looking real bad, man. He only had a few more months, and he was going to be off parole. So think about that. Only a few more months of keeping your nose clean, you're off parole, and you back on the streets. If you catch a charge, you catch a charge, but now you're dealing with it from a different standpoint as going right back to prison and having to fight this 21-year charge you originally sentenced with, man. So this is crazy, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this situation. Did 051 Kiddo crash out to the ultimate crash out activity? And yes, I made up a word there. You know what I mean? Now with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell. So that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace. And oh yeah, if you want to check out my last video about 051 Kiddo's original arrest for his alleged parole violation, check that out. With that, this has been your boy Big Man, and we out of here. Peace.